Okay, I believe we are live. Om lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and peaceful. Phoenix here. Welcome to Monday's live stream. Had to restart my computer just a few minutes ago because my OBS software wasn't working. So here we are. Before we get in, I'm going to give it a few minutes here before we dive into the charts. I just want to share about 𝐬𝐚𝐧𝐭, my preferred exchange. Everyone that's in my group in my C3 Discord joins under 𝐬𝐚𝐧𝐭 first, and then you get access to my trades. And also want to mention about Keystone. They're going to be having a deal, buy 3 get 1 free up until Christmas, I believe. But also you get 35% if you use my code DeFi Magic. This is a good wallet. So, what's going on? Man, got faked out last night on some long positions. Took some longs after the break above the weekly level here with some conviction. It didn't even come back down to retest. Thought there was going to be some strength here. Probably should have moved my stops a little bit higher, but didn't take too big of a loss, but it was kind of adds up, you know. Last week was not so good for me trading wise. So what's going on in the markets? What's going on with the stock market? This chart is very telling here. If you notice here, what is going on? This trend line is being very well respected right now, and actually it beautifully wicked up to it. And we also have confluence with this mid-range level here between the 22 open and the 22 low. Okay, and we saw sort of a evening star formation here, and it came down to retest. Actually did bounce off initially, but then now is coming back down again. And so in all likelihood, the S&P is headed at minimum down to 3950. And this will probably happen over the next day or so. And then from there, we have to reevaluate and see what happens at each and every level, because this here could be bullish for crypto. It could lead to a short-term rally. But this is going to be a much different story, in my humble opinion, if we break down below this 3950 level, and especially if we continue to see the Dixie finding support at this weekly level here. So initially, today's response, and this is sort of confusing because there's actually been some mixed data out there as far as the strength in the economy is concerned, but the charts aren't really depicting that as of right now. So very confusing market right now, at least for me personally. I don't know about any of you, but the Dixie's coming back up, and it's been pretty oversold, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it came really far down here, and we found support at this weekly level. I think it could rip a lot higher here in the coming days. Unfortunately, it's December. A lot of people are going to be, oh yeah, this could be a tricky month for cryptocurrency. So looking at Bitcoin, we were in an uptrend, a strong uptrend here, and the uptrend, as of right now, we have to still give benefit to this long scenario here. Even though we did see a big drop down in the last couple of hours, it's not time to go crazy in the short right now. For me personally, I'm not giving financial advice here, but for me, I'm just talking out loud. We've broken beneath this diagonal here and this horizontal, this range, but see now it's coming back up. So maybe it comes back up to push up to the weekly open, which is around 17,100. Maybe it comes up a little higher to 17,150. This is where I'd be looking for some shorts. Okay, if it can push up and it continues to consolidate and show some weakness here, general weakness, maybe we get some wicks above. then I'd be looking to short at this level. Okay. Or it comes above here, gets back inside, another potential short here. Okay. If it just breaks down from here, I'm not going to follow it down. I'm not going to jump into it because I want to see a push back up, another attempted a retest here, and then a breakdown. So those are the three shorts that I'd be looking for Bitcoin as of right now. But I'm not wanting to take longs at this point. And I think part of that is because I just got stopped out on this long here. This should have been, technically this was a breakout. This was a technical breakout. And I think that the stock market activity down almost 2% today in the SPY, I think that really dampened this rally that we were seeing here. So, you know, I thought that Bitcoin wanted to target up a little bit higher, especially if we take a look at this on a weekly level, a weekly basis here. Pretty weak rally, to be honest. I mean, pretty weak. You know, this whole gap here, I thought, you know, it looks like it should come back up at least to 18K, at least really retest this range low here. Maybe it still will, but it's not looking good right now for Bitcoin. And it really feels like a lot, like if we come down from here and stocks continue to tank from here, then this could be the beginning of that move down back below 15,500, putting in new lows, and it would come right around New Year's. Not good timing for that one there. So hi Tombstone, how's it going? So Ethereum is, compared to Bitcoin, we're looking at ETH-BTC. Let's look at ETH-BTC first. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of sorts today. It's trying to get my mind around this right now. I was just meditating and doing a little bit of chanting, and ETH-BTC is actually wants to come down. I think that this is going to head further south from here. We did break above this diagonal and held above for some time, but now there's some resistance here at this swing high level here. And I would say that if I had to chart a course for ETH-BTC, I would say it comes back down, retests here, and then eventually breaks down. And then eventually we're seeing it head all the way back down to this monthly level at minimum, and then maybe even this quarterly level. I think that's the obvious course for Ethereum, ETH-BTC. And of course, that means that Ethereum is going to come down and retest this $1,000 quarterly level here, which it hasn't done yet, surprisingly, considering what Bitcoin has done, putting in new lows. Ethereum has not come back down even to the 1,000 mark. I would have expected it to come down to not 800-900 already. So it's been holding up strong, but you can see on the daily, you can see this sort of consolidation here at the top of this range, okay, which is also this previous support zone here, okay? So it's proving there's some resistance here. And so again, with Ethereum, even though we're not seeing a breakdown just yet, it just actually did. We got a 4-hour close beneath this diagonal trend line, but that's not enough for me personally. I would want to see it also break down below this weekly level, 1234, and then I'd be looking to maybe short it if it came back and retested here. So did something like this, broke down, and then we're looking to get in. Of course, that's a little bit, I'm really not good with this tool here. Breaks down here and then starts to make its way down from there. Probably get some consolidation around this weekly level before it makes up its mind. But this, yeah, it's been a little tricky trading. This is a triple top here, pretty obvious. And this here, let's see, this looks more, this is a deviation here. And you could say that this is the low of the range here at around 1256. Okay. And here, the weekly level, we're using this as our, it's not technically the high, but it has more, for me, I give this more precedence than something like that there. But you could interpret it however you want there, but we are below the weekly open. So that's potentially bearish, setting us up into the week. So Also, I've just been having the hardest time trading these, and I had a nice long setup, and you could see it here on BNB because I mean, technically speaking, this is in the way now. Technically speaking, we got back inside this range and it showed a lot of momentum. Okay, so normally this is a good setup for a long, but again, you have to take the whole context, and not just in crypto. Now we also have to pay attention to what the stocks are doing and what the Dixie's doing. And so that's, that's the unfortunate side of this. Now, so I got stopped out somewhere around 290, and BNB, I mean, in all likelihood, there's not a whole lot supporting it anymore. I mean, at this point, after seeing this failed move up, this is appears to be the final failed move up. So I'd be surprised even if BNB came back up. If BNB comes back up anywhere near here, I'm shorting it. And that's that. I don't even care. Like it's definitely going to fill this here. It's definitely going to come down. There's just no way to me that it's just going to rip and then come all the way back up here. I don't see that happening with this price action. And so this range here has been really difficult to trade. It's not, it's just, there's no clarity with that. And some of the other alts as well, like Solana came in here twice. This time, actually, both of these times I went long on this. And second time around, had my take profit levels here and here in this range, got back into the range, showed some strength, and then came back down. Probably should have got out after this candle here, but it was late. This is the problem with trading late at night before bed, is you can't monitor the trades the way that you want to. So it is what it is. This trade was not a good trade for me either. Solana, I mean, upside extremely limited. This could turn into a ghost chain eventually. If it keeps up like this kind of price action in the coming weeks and months, then Solana's doomed because this is weak. This is really, really weak. You would think, again, notice how oversold Solana is. It's acting like, like a worthless coin, let's put it that way. And we're beneath this. I mean, you could say this is one massive head and shoulders here, and we're beneath it. We kind of came back to no, we didn't even come back to retest. So maybe it does. Maybe it still pushes up, but this is not tradable for me right now. Maybe others have had more success with Solana. I had some good trades with Solana somewhere over here, but I think this last trade, I'm like, this just isn't worth it. And if it's not going to push up from here, I mean, I wouldn't long this even if it did come back inside again, just because of what happened the last two times. It's not to say that, it can't break through again, but I'm just not interested in that. And Dogecoin too looks just really messy. We're kind of breaking below here. Well, what do? You short it down to here? No, that's not really, there's not a whole lot of reward in that, and then you see maybe, but if we get a breakdown, if we get it to break down, if it comes down, which I think in all likelihood it will eventually come back down here, and then we see some strength on the move to the downside, then that would be a short trigger. So beneath this daily level of 0.094, but as of right now, this is just a mess. This is not something I want to trade. I was hoping that it would come back up to this range here, this zone, this supply zone, but you notice it got the wick, but it was rejected before it could even get in there. And sometimes that happens when there is a zone that's really strong, a strong sell wall here. They get to it right before it even gets there. So it is what it is. Dogecoin is just not really in a place where I want to trade it right now. And Link has actually been among the stronger altcoins, but Link's also at a critical point right now where it's breaking down from this range here, and we want to see it maybe retest before shorting it down to 665. So does something like this, comes down. If it gets back inside, then that's an obvious long there. if it really shows strength. But in all likelihood, I believe it's going to ultimately break down, short it all the way down. Maybe your mid is somewhere in here. Let's see, where would we want that? Probably the first take profit, probably around 692. Looking at this zone here, previous resistance here, okay? That could be support, at least short-term support, and then heading all the way down to 665, and then have to reevaluate it when it hits this level here and see. But yeah, just not looking good. Atom was another one that I had a hard time with last week. Ethereum seems to be my best play right now, I guess because it's the most reliable as far as the price action is concerned. Atom has made another attempt up here. I mean, I think all of these are headed down at this point, but I'm not going to short just yet because we just saw a sort of big move in the last couple of hours. So I just want to see if they consolidate and show any strength. If we get any rejection wicks to the upside, then I'd be sort of reassessing that. But here's your first take profit level. I believe is that the weekly open? Why did I mark that level there? Yeah, I think it is. So looking for more downside for Atom as well. You could say these are two. This is one big deviation here, and then here, okay? And so breaking down to 992 and then to 962. And then from there, just see what the market gives us. But those are my main plays right now. I'd be more prone to short Ethereum over Bitcoin because of this weakness here. Most likely headed south in my opinion here. So I mean, you see the double top, you see the breakdown and the retest here. Okay, so that's what we just saw. We have this here, okay, break below, back a little bit above, run the stops. This is classic. Okay, so Ethereum probably headed further, not like that, but further south in the coming days. Okay, so not really as interested in shorting Bitcoin, although I might do smaller size there if I do. But I think we're headed south, and sentiment's going to get worse, and there's going to be less people paying attention to this, and that doesn't really matter because there's still money to be made. You can always make money in these markets, and you can always be optimistic despite whatever's happening, whatever other people are saying. You can always be optimistic, whether you're taking losses or you're making gains. You've got to think of it as it all evens out in the long term if you're applying proper strategies and you're clear in your head and you're not taking it personal. Of course, it has a mental and emotional effect when you take losses. It definitely does. And it can weigh on you, but it's about where you're putting your focus. I took some losses last week, and after having a huge month in November, I was up 31, I think it was 30, almost 32% in a month. Really incredible. And, so taking some losses this month, I think I'm down like 3 or 4% so far. Okay. But that's, I'll make it back. And, I'm not going to aggressively trade here. I want to wait and see. I want it to be revealed to me. I'm very wary when I see a move like this. Okay, you missed the move. I went the other way. Okay, got stopped out over here. I missed this move. No big deal. I don't think a whole lot of people could see this coming. Okay, it's probably going to bounce though, because look at all the red. When I see a lot of red like this, big strong red candles, I mean, of course it could continue. But the higher probability move is that we get a bounce here, at least a short-term bounce, and maybe it comes back up here, okay? And we start to see weakness. But I'm not going to short it anywhere in this zone because this is where most of retail is participating. This is where I'd want to see, okay, maybe it pushes back up and then breaks down again. Now we get a close beneath here. Now I'm interested. Okay. So it's the ebb and flow. It's, it's getting that timing right. That's the real art to it. So yeah, it's pretty dead in here today. I'm sure some of you will watch this after the fact, but um, yeah, tough market. I've been like, oh, Litecoin. Okay, so Litecoin, as I mentioned, the canary in the coal mine. We just got it pumped, wanted to keep going, broke down. This is an interesting one here because I think it's going to try and do this and then come back. Target 1 here, target 2 here. Maybe you just leave it open. Target 3 here because you've got a demand zone right here. Maybe you even have a target 4 because I think eventually Litecoin will probably come back down much further here to this monthly level. It looks like, yeah, this looks like the ultimate distribution pattern to me. And here you have your swing fail here. It's a major deviation there. So I think that Litecoin's probably going to head south, but I wouldn't short it right here. I'd short it somewhere up here if it comes up and we see some wicks and we see it move down from there. So there actually are an abundance of trade setups here that could work out really well. But I'm being more and more careful with alts as this bear market wears on because they're just really tricky right now. And especially if I have sort of a losing streak, what I'll do is I'll just take a step back and I'll just focus on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and because I want to really understand what they're doing, and that will give me some clarity when it comes to the alts. When Ethereum starts to really come down, then we know that alts have seen their day, and I think that that's just around the corner with what ETH BTC is doing. Okay. Yeah, I really would wish that I could be bullish in this scenario. I really wish that I could, it's like maybe that's the reason I went long here, but no, this was actually, I had good reason to long this at this level. I think my average in around 17,200. It was a technical breakout, but then it just reversed very quickly. So it happens, it happens, and it's not a big deal. This is in the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin, it's near the top of this range here, so there is a lot more potential downside over the next week or two, leading us right into Christmas. Wouldn't that be something? I think that honestly, a lot of people were calling for it to come all the way back up to this quarterly level, but you can't get too eager. It needs to break above this first, right? And it didn't do that. So this is pretty picture perfect here. And if it follows the pattern that we saw last time, then we've got this move here, okay? And then if we take this and we bring it over here, well, it didn't come down quite as far last time, but even if it was like this, even if we measure it like this, okay, then where are we headed? Beneath the 2022 low. So maybe we see new lows this year. I don't know that it will happen over the next 3 weeks or so, but I do think that eventually we are headed lower. And the support for the S&P would be probably somewhere around between 32 and 34 for the S&P. And again, if that happens, that means that we're looking at this level, around 14K for Bitcoin, and then beneath that, we're looking at around 12K. So anywhere down here, I'm a spot buyer. So, let me put it that way. Anywhere between 12 around 12K, I'm a spot buyer. But if it, I mean, even if it's 14K and we see a lot of strength from there, maybe buying some at that point as well. So I think that's it for today. That's all I've got for you all. And I hope that you enjoyed this, that you found it relevant and useful. And yeah, it's hard doing this right now because I'm not, I write great threads, I put out good videos, and I'm not getting a whole lot. It just feels like a uphill battle with content creation right now. And so I kind of shift into other channels, to other outlets of creation, because I like to create. And this is just, it's just not pleasant for me right now. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a beautiful rest of your day.